Mr. Wolf, what do we got?
Holograms rule. I've always felt that way. Ever since Princess Leia appealed to Obi-Wan to save her.
That service computer is awesome.
Is that the data from the box that Ryan found in the crane cab?
Yeah. You know, you touch things but they come up on the big screen, and then you can kind of flick things off to the side and flick pictures up here and up there and then move them. I mean, it's like a magic wand.
End of season 5, the writers wrote a scene in the AV lab which had the whole AV lab just spinning around, where every direction that you looked, there was lights going on and visual references.
911, what's your emergency?
We weren't able to accomplish that at the end of season 5, but with that on our slate to build this for season 6, and we looked hard and long at new technology, and right in front of us was our new AV lab.
So one of the new innovations for the visual effects plate, if you will, is the AV lab, which that was introduced last season, and we're trying to amplify that look this year. This is a whole lab that is completely virtual. So when we walk in there and we do our filming, there's nothing on the walls. There's no playback monitors, which was kind of the standard in years past. Now it's just glass walls and a glass surface computing table with no images whatsoever.
Larry Detwell and the visual effects team, they have made it look and work better than we ever hoped.
Our what-ifs are almost limitless, because it's, well, Larry can give us that.
From photo stitching, to the facial recognition, to the nature of surface computing, to downloading a camera by placing it on the table, all of that is within this environment.
I got a phone call that said, how can we actually achieve getting this photography done with this room that is going to need, you know, compositing for every single shot.
So Larry came in and came up with his ideas how we can make this all photographable and reachable in the time constraints that we're under. And our production designer, Carrie Myers, built a phenomenal room.
The one thing that was kind of a challenge when I looked at how they wanted to design the room is we have redundant glass. So if they have a moving camera, then we have to deal with compositing the image on the front glass, which is the wall of the room, and the glass that's right in front of them, which is basically the monitors that are connected with the computer table. And so what we figured out is that, okay, if we take away that front layer, which is the wall of the room, then we later would track that camera move and reproduce that on a motion control stage with those glass panels, and then composite the image on the glass panels, and then composite whatever image is required for the surface table.
It's all pretend. We don't see anything. And they just put a big X behind the camera over here, and they're like, okay, look at that. That's the picture you just threw up there. Or look over here, that's where it's kind of like Jurassic Park when people were acting with a dinosaur on a stick.
The truth of it is that there's like a fiberglass, is a piece of glass like this, like a sort of, that's parallel to the floor, and then there's one that's purple. And then there's the camera, which is you at home or looking, it's being filmed by. And then literally behind, up high, there's a piece of orange tape and an X. And it says, you know, the interior CSI AV lab, Ryan Wolf is moving around information from the phone, the photos. And so it looks like I'm just like, sort of like the Dance Revolution champion / Minority Report / Moonshot's like senior dancer.
Great, cut quick.
Cutting.
Check it, please. My job as a director is sort of take them through the stages of what's transpiring in the scene. I think it's actually harder for the actor than for the director, in the sense that when you're directing something, you have to sort of pre-visualize it all in your head anyway, or storyboard it. So when I come on to set, I'm prepared for it, but they're coming on cold. I mean, they've read it, but then to have to interact with a piece of tape on a C-stand, that's a whole different animal.
The actors are pretty amazing. They're pretty, you know, slick as far as, you know, coming into this new space with actually nothing to interact with, and they seem to quickly figure it out.
Hi, I just got the 911 tape from Eric. Are we looking for something specific?
I'm a little short for the table. I mean, the table comes like here on me. They have to stand me on all these boxes to even get up there. And sometimes I like to sneak in an extra one if I'm with Jonathan Togo, so I appear a lot taller than he is. And then he figures it out and gets mad. They gave me a little bit of the surface computing to do, and I think I was too flourishy. I was like, and there you go. So now they leave it to the dudes.
God, Dave, what is taking you so long? What's the matter? Is the learning curve too steep for you?
Having an iPhone helped, actually. You know, just with some of the hand movements and realizing, okay, you know, if you want to make the image bigger, if you want to compress the image or slide it along, the mechanics of an iPhone are very similar.
A lot of times it's just pictures, bringing one picture in and trying to match them up, or, you know, video things and splicing. It's fascinating. It's awesome.
The art is to be able to stare at it and just sort of like zone out. And then I just let the post-production wizards do the best.
We've designed the AV room in a way that it's beneficial both for the actors and for our graphics people. So we basically will take what the actors are doing and we'll design everything to their hand movement, to their eye line.
Whatever we do, they figure it out and orchestrate it all.
Basically, what we're trying to do in visual effects here is help tell the story. And so what we do is tell story points, and it kind of looks like splashy graphics, but they usually don't include anything that's not important to telling the story.
The design starts from what is the story, first of all? You know, what are our characters in that room looking for?
Larry will first go out and shoot a bunch of the elements for us, as well as first unit and any other graphics that we need. Then we'll get everything and bring it all in together, and what we do is composite. It's called compositing, which means we collect all of that stuff and we put it together into one shot to make it feel seamless. So we've got the normal footage, so we need to fill all of these monitors. So this one in the foreground, the table that they're working on, the monitors in front that are attached to the table, as well as this wall in the background. So to sort of recreate that 3D pan, we split it up into 3 chunks to give you kind of the wraparound feel. This is going to be like the toolbar and that kind of stuff. So adding buttons, so we've got playback option tools, the general stuff that you would see on a computer that they're going to have to use. So once that's in, then we can put it on top of everything so it feels like it's one. Then kind of warp it to make it feel as if it's in sort of that 360 pan. So then we take our background element, or the first unit footage that was shot, and then we start adding stuff on top of it. The back wall on the right, the back wall in the center, the back wall on the left, the surface table, then the 3 monitors that are in front of them, then the foreground monitors that are behind them that show the reverse of what we're looking at on the wall. Little ball camera thing is also seeing behind them as well, so as it turns, then they rotate sort of opposite of each other. And we have to create the move for the foreground stuff as well as the stuff on the wall. So once that's done and that's assembled, then we can start doing the roto, which is basically taking them off of their background and then cutting out each part of them, from the shoulders to the head to the hair to the outside of the monitor glass. Then we can take that and add them on top, doink. So then stuff on the wall actually comes out looking as if it's behind them, and the stuff in the foreground looks like it's in front of them, as it would be naturally. And there you have the final shot that looks like this.
As you can see, we have the AV table, and there's nothing on it. Our actors are standing in front of it. We have a green screen back here, so they want us to put something there. So we've gone in and added something back there. We've made sure there's some reflection on the table to really sell the effect that these screens are reflecting off of the glass. And as we move along, we add the front screen that they're interacting with. What follows then is the foreground piece. We always make sure that whenever we have a shot as wide as this, is that there's a lot of things going on, because it really makes the scene more exciting to watch and look at. And then these are just the side panels that are being added to give it a feeling that it's a real kind of a curvature. And so that's essentially what the final shot will end up looking like when it's still.
The AV Hummer was totally redesigned. It was, 6 years old? And it looked 6 years old. The new AV Hummer is meant to be more slick. It's got, you know, black, glossy surfaces and multiple computers, multiple screens. Unlike the AV Lab, which is clear surfaces that we can see through, it's just simply multiple monitors. So it might have one large key monitor and then all these various side monitors. But it's not a surface computer in the same vein as, you know, the AV Lab. Anybody can put a computer and a screen in the back of a truck, but the technology as far as the search engine that, say if they're looking for a particular individual and they were inputting information, because we have 43 minutes or so to tell the story and to wrap up, ours works really, really fast. And so I think, you know, the CIA, the FBI, they would love to have a computer that does what ours does. Since we're never going to play back a graphic in the AV Hummer, due to the fact that it's a daylight exterior, the exposure on those monitors is never going to hold up. Those are all going to be just dressed with green screen.
So here's the AV Hummer, you've got the truck, and you've got the actors in the foreground working on the AV Hummer, and it's got several monitors in there just sort of covered in green, which lets us then take the green and key it out. And then here's the graphic. It's got some interesting stuff that is revealing the spray paint that was underneath the paint on the wall. So we'll take that and we'll take the original footage, and what we'll do is we'll take and we'll select the green and just key out that specific area. So we're able to take and select the color green because it's different from skin tone and it's different from most of stuff in a normal scene. So we're able to key this and get this nice edge around the actor so he can move around in front of that, and that's transparent, and we can put whatever we want between that. So there it is with the backgrounds, and then adding the screen in here gives us a bright screen lit in the middle of the frame in the monitors in the back of the AV Hummer. Here they are overlaid over on top of the actor, and then with the key on, the actor then pops in front of them. Then we blur it and change the hue and saturation a bit to make the color feel like it's actually in the back of a Hummer rather than it would just say on your computer screen without any context. So here's a compilation from that scene. You can see sort of the progression of how the scene went with a bunch of the shots put in.
The T-ray is picking up a change in the paint layers. It's definitely a different type under the green paint. It is graffiti.
Can we tighten the focus?
Yeah. Cranium's refill.
If I get a new script, first thing I look for is an AV scene, to be honest, because that's gonna immediately mean that our show is doubled in, you know, the amount of work that we're gonna do.
The demands are huge. And the funny thing is that I think a lot of people think that that's all they do. When they're doing 70 other things you're not even aware of, you know, they're sort of taking a mountain out here or doing this other little visual. They're doing things you don't even know are visual effects. And so when we added this to their plate, to their credit, they just said, all right, let's figure it out.
It gives us almost a menu of what's possible and what isn't. And believe me, far more is possible than is not possible.
I'm actually a hologram right now in this interview. I am.